Sweet memory warm my empty hands tonight. Bar stool lean against the wall like old friends. Lamp glow flickers over spilled whiskey stains, and shadow whisper stories of forgotten love. Bitter memory bites like a winter wind. Tin signs creak above abandoned storefronts. The street smells of rain and iron. Every corner holds a lonely echo. Sharp memory cuts through foggy midnight alley. Footsteps echo past boarded up windows. The city sleeps but my heart wanders, and ghosts of laughter trail behind me. Faded memory glows in the lamplight haze. Creaking floors tell tales of yesterday's joy. A door rattles under the storm wind, and I sip my whiskey alone tonight. Distant memory hums across empty track. Train whistles moan over iron bridges. Old benches hold the weight of silence, and the wind carries secrets through the town. Sweet memory lingers in a barroom corner. Smoke curls like fingers through the night. Neon signs flicker above tired faces, and shadows bend to the rhythm of pain. Bitter memory whispers through cracked alley walls. Rain drips along rusted metal gates. Footsteps fade into the river mist, and the city swallows every unspoken word. Sharp memory hums beneath morning fall. Faded memory drifts past shuttered windows. Distant memory waits for night to return, and I walk alone beneath silent street lamps. Smoke curling above cracked wet wood floor. Branch sway casting shadow on wall. Leaf drift caught in candlelight flicker. Steady groove pulsing through tired fingers. Old piano humming deep blues notes. Esther rattling broken shutters slowly. Echo tone floating over a dusty bar. Leaf drift falling in slow circles. Bartender wiping amber whiskey glass. Branch sway brushing neon sign frame. Steady groove keeping empty room alive. Air stir whispering through window cracks. Late crowd fading down narrow hallway. Echo tone lingering in smoke haze. Leaf drift sticking to wet cold. Branch sway groaning under wind pressure. Footsteps echo across creek and floorboard. Steady groove moving under one hand. Here still lifting ragged tablecloth edges. Echo tone carrying lonely guitar chords. Empty stools waiting for midnight friends. Leaf drift sliding across polished bars. Branch sway creaking on timber frame. Steady groove beating slow, hard rhythm. Cigarette smoke twisting in lamplight. Echo tone shivering down wall corner. Air stir brushing across weary neck. Drift marking forgotten floor scratches. Early morning touching dusty windows. Branch sway trembling under a weak wind. Steady groove sleeping in last snow. The echo tone fading with daylight. Back alley table on the single lamp, metal scrape ringing through quiet air, steel scratch shining on worn blade, knife nick marking careless years. The lonely cook standing outside tavern kitchen, blade scratch catching dim yellow glow, scrape sound across brick wall, metal scrape echoing midnight blue. Rain dripping through crooked fire escape, steel scratch coat against steel rail, knife nick resting near door ledge, iron scrape humming slow rhythm. Sharpening blade in silence, blade scratch drawing sparks in dark, metal scrape singing hard-working songs, steel scratch bright under lantern light, drifter carving mark into wooden crate, knife nick deep beneath the rough hands, iron scrape sliding across a rusty hinge, steel scratch whispering tired story. Wind pushing loose door through alley, metal scrape dragging slow across ground, blade scratched up beneath years, knife nick hidden inside shadow, morning truck arriving at back door, iron scrape waking silent in yard, steel scratch glowing beneath sunrise, metal scrape fading with noise, daylight flooding empty alleyway, blade scratch quiet on old knife, knife nick resting after long night, steel scratch waiting for work again. Tied my drifts across dimly lit bars, neon flickers on cracked wooden floors, whiskey warms the hands of lonely men, Cigarette smoke curls into the night. Wandering miles beneath flickering lamps. Footsteps echo down narrow, wet alleyways. An old piano sighs a low blues. And shadows move abandoned walls. Drifting mind rides on midnight rain. Tin rooftops glisten beneath the streetlights. The distant train moans a low tune, and memories hum of old regrets. Silent mind waits by shuttered windows. Rain taps slowly on cracked cobblestones. A harmonica cries softly through the fog, and shadows whisper stories of lost friends. Open mind lingers over empty chairs. Whiskey bottles glint beneath tired neon. The clock ticks slow on the wall, and shadows stretch across the silent floor. Tired mind listens to distant footfalls. Smoke rises from abandoned corners. Old photograph line dusty shelves, and the night hums a melancholy tune. Wandering mind sways with a cold wind. A lamp flickers above the warm piano. The bar creaks under empty chairs, and every sigh carries a city sorrow. Drifting mind fades into quiet morning. The first light touches cracked glass panes. Whiskey bottles reflect pale neon glow, and silent thoughts linger over old blue. Late night freight room, smelling old timber, trunk end groaning beneath dusty lid. Glass turns slow inside tired fingers. Crate drag echo across warehouse floor. Lonely porter stacking boxes near platform. Chest hinge creaking like tired bones tonight. Lid slammer ringing through empty depot hall. Crate drag carving lines in flow grid. Cold wind sliding through loading door. Trunk hinge whining under lantern glow. Clasp turn clicking soft metal rhythm. Chest hinge shaking with restless hands. Across dark yard, lid slam bouncing off brick wall. Crate drag humming slow working song. Trunk hinge stiff with years of travel. Old drifter open and battered travel trunk. Glass turn spinning under dim bow. Chest hinge breathing dust in the night air. Crate drag sliding beside platform rail. Midnight porter resting beside stacked freight. Lid slam fading into quiet shadow. Trunk hinge resting after long journey. Glass turned dull beneath warm brass. Early morning light touching freight room. Chest hinge pale beneath rising sun. Crate drag silent beside wooden pallet. Lid slam memory hanging in there. Day shift footsteps filling depot. Trunk hinge waiting for another load. Class turned quiet in traveler pocket. Crate drag ready for new cargo. Twilight settling over cracked wooden porch. Wind sweep carrying scent of summer. Hair drift brushing tired window screen. Long breath rising with orange dust. Old rocker creaking beneath empty frame. Wind shift rattling loose shutters lightly. Night post beating from distant factory. Hair drift stirring, falling pine needles. Lantern glow catching chip paint corn. Long breath mixing with smoke of cigar. Wind sweep moving, shadow across the rail. Night post posing through broken floorboard. Evening chorus of distant train whistling. Air drift carrying faint city echoes. Wind shift shaking tired porch. Long breath lingering in silent hours. rocking in slow rhythm. Night pulse drumming beneath warm planks. Wind sweep rattling, rusted screen door. Air drift circling, fading lantern glow. Old guitar leaning against cracked rail. Long breath carrying soft blues note. Wind shift bending branches against roof. Night pulse echoing inside hollow walls. Creak and swing moving with evening breeze. Air drift cooling, sweating shoulders gently. Wind sweep brushing over cracked floorboards. Long breath filling lungs with quiet night. Sliding across tide wooden port. Night pulse settling into quiet rhythm. Wind shift whispering over distant rooftops. Air drift closing, final door of day. Aching mind sway with the midnight rain. Street lamps flicker over the cracked sidewalk. A distant train wails far in the night, and shadows lean along the alley wall. Awful man waits beside shuttered window. Smoke curls from the fading neon glow. The piano hums a low, lonely tune, and every sigh carries quiet blue. Patient mind rests on the flickering amber light. Footsteps echo across puddle-strewn streets. Whiskey warms cold, tired hands, and shadows stretch over old brick walls. Steady mind listens to rain on rooftop. The bar hums a faint, soft melody. Tense eyes sway with a wind-sharp gut, and alley shadows dance slowly and dark. Restless heartbeats in the empty room. Cigarette smoke drifts along wooden counters. A harmonic cries a slow aching note, and every step home we lost blue. Aching mind glances at the silent street. Footsteps vanish over wet cobblestone. The first light touches shattered window, and the city sighs low in the dawn. Awful mind sways beneath dim neon. Rusty rails glint on a faint street light. The piano moans a blue melody, and shadows whisper old forgotten tales. Patient mind fades in a pale morning fall. Whiskey bottles glimmer on empty shelves. Restless heart hums soft on a quiet lamplight. The bar sighs, the blues alone. Smoky tavern, midnight, whiskey breathing quietly. Buckle clink, breaking dim lamp silence. Lonely trumpet bending, sorrowful delta notes. Rainy avenue glowing beneath violet neon. Railroad porter resting beside cracked doorway. Chain clink echoing along narrow corridor. Passing freight thundering beyond brick warehouse. Cold river wind rattling dusty shutters. Cardroom gambler staring warm, playing cards. Ring clink drifting through smoky table light. Sweaty palms gripping faded dollar bills. Ceiling fan turning slow, restless circles. Street preacher shouting beneath yellow street lamp. Bar knock sounding against wooden entrance. Night traffic murmuring distant tired rhythm, wind flipping loose newspaper pages. A light and cheap corner cigar, rail knock tapping iron railing softly, gray harbor fog covering silent barges, lonely ghosts circling moonlit water, late saxophone crying inside basement club, chain clink answering slow bass heartbeat, sweeping janitor dragging worn bristle broom, spilled bourbon soaking scarred floorboards. Bus station traveler gripping battered suitcase, buckle clink greeting sleepy ticket window, early locomotive breathing cold smoke clouds, faded timetable flooding weak dawn breeze. Morning sunlight touching empty barroom tables, ring clink silent beside dusty counter, quiet city stretching toward tired daylight, Chicago streets washing away midnight blues. Lonely drinker sliding toward dim counter, stool scrape scratching rough old planks, cheap bourbon warming tired bones slowly, neon shadows trembling across walls. Lay guitarist tuning battered instrument, C-turn creaking beside smoky stage, blue note floating above hushed crowd, cigarette haze curling under lamps. Traveling salesman loosening crooked tie, stool spin drifting lazy drunken circle, warm laughter rising near jukebox corner, bartender pouring amber river. Quiet waitress carrying chipped coffee cup, seat polish glowing under yellow light, short order cook shouting greasy orders, kitchen door swinging restless rhythm. Card shark whispering over green felt, bar groove worn by countless elbows, dice rattle inside leather cup, low trumpet groaning delta sorrow. Rainstorm pounding tin rooftop loudly. Stool scrape dragging near cracked radiator. Whiskey bottle tilting lazy stream. Night train roaring beyond river. Closing bell ringing hollow echo. Sea turns slowing beneath tired body. Crumpled bills sleeping near glass. Last blues chord fading softly. Morning broom sweeping silent tavern. Stool spin frozen beside counter edge. Bar groove pale beneath sunlight. Empty room remembering midnight music. Smoky bar, humming low midnight blues. Slow shuffle moving across wooden floor. Toe scuff marking dusty dance lines. Step rhythm tapping beside piano chord. Lonely drinker swaying near corner table. Shoe slide whispering along plank boards. Heel smear shining under dim lamp. Step rhythm matching tired guitar. Old jukebox spinning sad Chicago blues. Toe scuff echoing under neon light. Slow shuffle carrying broken memories. Shoe slide soft beside bar stool. Bartender watching quiet dances move. Heel smear tracing circles on floor. Step rhythm rising with bass line. Slow shuffle drifting through smoke. Late night lovers turning near doorway. Shoe slide brushing worn bows gently. Toe scuff fading beneath trumpet cry. Heel smear glowing beneath red neon. Blues singer leaning beside microphone. Step rhythm tapping through lonely verse. Slow shuffle moving across dim room. Shoe slide breathing soft rhythm. Closing bell ringing near empty bar. Toe scuff slowing beside last drink. Heel smear fading beneath quiet light. Step rhythm resting with tired band. Morning janitor sweeping silent tavern. Slow shuffle gone from wooden floor. Shoe slide memory inside dusty room. Toe scuff erased by broom. Dense memory hums in the empty tavern. Bar stools creak beneath unseen weight. Smoke drip from a dying cigar, and the night tastes of bitter whiskey. Lost memories linger along cracked sidewalks. Footsteps echo where children once played. Street lamp flicker over puddled alleys, and wind carries whispers, forgotten days. In the attic corners, dust coats, old chairs, and faded curtains. Lantern glow, trombones above silent floorboards, and every shadow hides a secret side. Closed shutters, rain drums on tin roofs above empty rooms. The piano rests, keys dusted with time, and loneliness lingers in the warm night air. Through the midnight fog, iron railings drip with the weight of rain. The clock ticks beneath the barroom wall, and old bottles clink in the silence. Across the river bend, muddy banks hold the footprints of strangers. The wind hums low through the docks, and every sigh carries a quiet tale. Lost memory burns beneath the lamplight glow. Smoke curls around the chairs and tables. Neon flickers over a silent street, and I trace the echoes of old pain. Hidden memory waits in the cellar dark, barrel side under the weight of years. The night hums soft with empty voices, and slow memory drifts into dawn. quiet midnight air. Narrow corridor stretching beyond tired eyes. Door crack glowing with weak yellow light. Hen wobble whispering soft metal song. Late footsteps echoing down narrow corridor. Door seam leaking tired apartment light. Dim hallway smelling like old smoke. Hen wobble shaking with passing wind. Lonely blues radio playing behind wall. Door crack shining like distant stars. Narrow corridor holding quiet shadows. Dim hallway waiting for morning. Drunk tenant walking past silent doors. Door seam breathing warm whiskey air. Hen wobble creaking with careless push. Narrow corridor humming slow echoes. Old buildings settling beneath night silence. Dim hallway glowing under flickering bulb. Door crack watching time wanderers pass. Hen wobble turning slow with time. Rain echo drifting through broken window. Narrow corridor carrying distant thunder. Door seam trembling beneath wind gust. Dim hallway smelling of coal dust. Early footsteps moving toward outside street. Door crack pale under morning glow. Hen wobble quiet after a restless night. Narrow corridor fading into daylight. Sunlight touching worn apartment doors. Dim hallway losing shadow corners. Door seam closing on another story. Hinge wobble resting until night. Far thought drifts across the misty riverbed. Streetcars rattle over iron bridge tracks. Smoke rises slow from a lonely cafe, and early birds cry over quiet warehouses. Sudden thoughts strike like lightning through the fog. Windows glimmer with pale morning sunlight. Footsteps echo on cracked, rain-soaked sidewalk, and shadows shrink beneath the rising day. Hidden thought rests beneath the tavern counter. Coins glint faintly beneath dim lamplight. The scent of whiskey lingers in cold air, and quiet memories press against tired walls. Silent thought hovers in the empty train yard. Steel cranes sway slowly in the morning wind. The whistle cries far across muddy rails, and dust drifts over a worn loading platform. Fading thought drifts through abandoned alleyway. Rusty gates scraping a faint breeze. Shattered windows reflect pale morning colors, and every sigh carries the weight of yesterday. Far thought rises with smoke from chimneys. Early merchants drag carts down cobbled streets. The city yawns beneath soft amber light, and old stories murmur through empty doorways. Sudden thought strikes as streetcars clang past. Tin signs sway in the wind, sharp gusts. Lonely footsteps pass between narrow stone walls, and shadows follow in quiet morning blues. Hidden thought fades with the sun's first glow. Morning air carries faint whispers of the past. Silent thought lingers near empty benches, and fading thought hums a soft whiskey tune. Rain taps slow on a tin roof above. Boots scrape echo down the empty alley. Bar polish hiding scratches of old fights. Seat turn creaks under my heavy weight. Stool knock answers a lonely harmonica cry. Handle rattle shakes the tide, bartender away. Brass knob glints under a flickering bowl. Knob turn reveals shadows on cracked walls. Bitter whiskey warms a hollow chest. Dime ring jingles like forgotten promises. Copper glow flicker beside unpaid tab. Chain clink rattle under tight fans. Bar groove worn by decades of elbows. Not circle marks the old oak tabletop. Wood grain whispers stories of lost friends. Seat polished dull beneath the neon haze. Stool spin slows like the passing hour. Timber scent drifts from a corner fire. Resin drip glistens on the cedar beam. Pine scent mixes with cigarette smoke. Buckle clink sounds from a leather strap. Ring clink echoes with last night's coin. Handle turn of a door long unused. Light shakes eyes through the barroom gloom. Silver flash of a bartender's knife. Oaks and drifters through smoke and silence. Brass shine dims in early morning light. Sap beat drops on a forgotten ledger. Knock taps like heartbeats in rhythm. Stool scrape carries the loneliness away. Sea turn creaks on final goodbye. Bar shake tremble beneath the dawn. Long talk echoes in the empty alley. Footsteps fade beneath the dim streetlight glow. Shadows whisper secrets of broken promises. Cold wind carries a smell of lost whiskey. Late talk comes from a closed bar window. Neon flickers over puddles on the asphalt. Tired shoes trace paths of yesterday's sorrow. The river hums a low midnight tune. Soft talk drifts from a forgotten porch. Cigarette smoke curls through the damn night air. Empty chairs wait beside shattered glass bottles. The old rail hums with rusted metal song. Gentle talk slips past shuttered doorways. Street lamps flicker over tired wet bricks. Lonely cats pad along broken fences. Memory drifts with the cold evening air. Low talk rumbles under the distant train whistle. Rust stains crawl over the iron bridge rails. Barren trees sway in the winter wind. Shadows bend over the silent sidewalk. Long talk repeats inside my hollow skull. Old ghosts laugh under the cracked lamp light. Tired eyes trace the alley's crooked lines. The night swallows every whispered sorrow. Late talk hums where the river bends. Water mirrors the glow of distant stars. Old boards creak beneath invisible steps. The wind carries voices of lost men. Soft talk fades behind shuttered windows. Gentle talk drifts into empty street corners. Low talk hums across the abandoned lot. The town sleeps beneath a blanket of dust. And a rattle shakes the night bar door. Bar knock hits like a tired heart. Sea turn creaks under the heavy rain. Stool scrape drags through spilled whiskey puddles. Bar polish dull beneath neon glow. Rail knock taps like distant rain. Wood grain hums beneath old glass rings. Not a ring spins where old stories linger. Oh. Copper glow warms a cracked countertop. Brass shine flickers under candle flame. Chain clink echoes down the empty hallway. Buckle clink sings with a distant sigh. Timber scent drift from the worn rafters. Resin drip falls on the oak floor. Pine scent mixes with smoke and sweat. Seat polish hides the scars of the night. beside a lonely piano. Bar groove hold decades of lost love. Handle turn creaks with every weary step. Knob wobble hints the broken doors close. Silver flash catches on the spilled coins. Oak scent lingers in the quiet corner. Dime ring rings in the memory of loss. Sap beat drips like a muted tear. Chain clink sounds near the bartender's elbow. Bar shake trembles beneath empty glasses. Seat turn groans under tired bodies. Stool knock answers the slow midnight blues. Brass knob waits for the morning sun. Buckle clink ends the night's last toll. Wood grain whispers forgotten stories. Not circle locks, the echoes in silence. Quiet heart drifts beneath flickering lamplight. Rain taps on the empty bar windows. Footsteps echo along cold cracked floors. And the piano moans a low tune. Slow heart waits by shuttered doorways. Smoke curls from a dimly lit corner. The harmonica cries into empty shadows. And every sigh hums a whiskey blues. Deep heart leans against worn wooden railings. Tin rooftops drip in the midnight rain. Footsteps vanish into the foggy alley. And neon flickers across wet cobblestones. Lonely heart listens to distant streetcars. Rusty fire escapes creak in the cold. Whiskey warms a pair of tired hands. And shadows stretch beneath the flickering lamps. Soft heart hums along a quiet piano. Smoke curls beside the empty bar stools. Footsteps tap a lonely rhythm on the floor. And the night drifts over the the city streets. Quiet heart waits under neon glow. The bar hums a low, soft melody. Rain rolls down cracked window panes slowly, and every sigh hums a blues refrain. Slow heart drifts past abandoned loading docks. Fog rolls low across the river edge. Whiskey glimmers in dim amber light, and shadows follow every silent step. Deep heart fade to the first sunlight. Lonely heart rests beneath the cold lamplight. Soft heart hums a gentle midnight tune. And the city breathes a quiet blue. Lay bartender standing beside tavern door. Key ring turning slow in tired hand. Latch plate shining beneath yellow lamp. Chain sway whispering quiet metal rhythm. Cold wind sliding down empty street. Key dropper ringing against wooden floor. Lock plate door beneath fading light. Chain sway moving with soft breeze. Lonely travel knocking after closing time. Latch plate holding tight against the night. Key ring clinking like slow blues notes. Chain sway rattling under porch roof. Old door open into a smoky bar. Lock plate shining in whiskey glow. Key drop falling beside bar stool. Latch plate steady through heavy night. Night watchmen walking past silent shops. Key ring singing soft metal song. Chain sway dancing beside a wooden door. Lock plate cold beneath moonlight. Down narrow alley. Latch plate catching weak street glow. Key drop echoing across empty floor. Chain sway breathe in gentle rhythm. First work arriving before sunrise. Key ring trembling inside rough palm. Lock plate pale in morning gray. Latch plate open in quiet day. Sunlight warming, silent storefront glass. Key drop resting beside counter. Chain sways still against door frame. Key ring waiting for night shift. Old guitar case resting beside stool. Leather squeak singing the tired hands. Strap pulled tight and then a cross shoulder. Buckle up shining beneath them balls. Street musician walking Chicago midnight blocks. Leather rub whispering with every step. Strap stretch holding battered guitar tight. Leather squeak answering city wind. Corner tavern glowing soft whiskey light. Strap pulled steady beneath heavy case. Buckle rub clinking gentle metal tone. Leather rub warm against worn coat. Blues man stepping through smoky doorway. Leather squeak greeting wooden floor. Strap stretched tired from long road miles. Buckle rub bright beneath bar lamp. Slow guitar crying through midnight bar. Leather rub resting beside stage chair. Strap pull easing from aching shoulder. Leather squeak quiet near amplifier. Late crowd fading toward empty street. Buckle rub soft against brass latch. Strap stretch loose beneath pale neon. Leather squeak fading in the night. Early dawn touching the sidewalk. Leather rub cold against travel coat. Strap pull steady for another town. Buckle rub dull in gray light. Sun climbing above Chicago rooftops. Leather squeak waking with morning breeze. Strap stretcher ready for a long road. Leather rub carrying blues away. Distant murmur crawling down the alley. Slow whisper shaking the old piano. Cracked voice trembling beside a whiskey glass. Corner whisper hiding in cigarette smoke. Night whisper curling through dim lamplight. Hush voice counting coins on polished oak. Tired voice humming forgotten love's refrain. Distant shout breaking silence of midnight. Far echo bouncing off damn brick walls. Warm voice lingering over empty stools. Lip murmur telling secrets to shadows. Soft whisper fading behind smoky mirrors. By whisper rustling under torn posters. Distant laugh trembling across wooden floor. Close murmur hiding under neon sign. Rough voice carrying stories of lost men. Secret whisper brushing past the jukebox. Slow talk echoing through quiet back room. Deep whisper resting on polished bar rail. Near whisper drifting across late night patron. Distant cry slicing through cold alley air. Breath whisper rising from tired lungs. Low voice rolling like slow bourbon. Far home vibrating beneath flickering lamp. a spilled drink. Tired voice sinking into bar stool. Now I whisper, following drifter out the door. Answer hanging in the foggy doorway. Secret whisper caught in iron rail. Soft whisper resting on piano keys. Smoky voice fading with first sunlight. Final thought waits by the shuttered tavern door. Rain drips slowly on the old sidewalk. Piano moans low in the darkened corner, and shadows stretch across dusty wooden floors. First thought hung beneath a neon flicker. Footsteps echo across cobblestones, glistening in the rain. Whiskey warms the palms of tired men, and the night side beneath flickering streetlight. Early thought drifts through alleyways filled with fog. Trash rattles softly against tin rooftops. A harmonica cries low beside a shuttered bar, and every creek tells tales of forgotten blues. Morning thought rises with pale, quiet light. Steam curls from mugs on empty dime counters. The city stirs slowly beneath the amber glow, and tired souls shuffle along broken sidewalks. Even thought waits beneath flickering lampposts. Tin rooftops drip with the night's last rain. Footsteps echo faint across the narrow lane, and the city whispers soft whiskey blues. Final thought lingers by the shuttered windows. Cigarette smoke drifts under pale moonlight. The piano hums beneath the empty tavern, and shadows breathe soft tales of sorrow. First thought moves with the morning fog's edge. Streetcars clang over cold iron rails. Footsteps tap against old warm wooden floor, and every echo hums a restless tune. Early thought fades with rising city light. Evening thought waits in quiet tavern corners. The last bottle glimmers beside worn glass, and whiskey sings low into the day. Broken talk drifts down the foggy riverbank. Empty docks creak beneath the weight of night. Whiskey bottles rattle in forgotten alleys. The fog adds footprints of tired men. Wandering talk hums past shuttered boathouses. The water mirrors a pale moon reflection. Old chairs lean against rusted railings. Every shadow tells a tale of loss. Drifting tall floats above a silent current. Fishermen's nets sag under the midnight mist. A train whistle mourns across the distance. The river hums a song of old pain. Talk flickers in my worn coat pocket. Every echo carries yesterday's long regret. Street lamps glimmer over cracked paving, and cold wind whisper forgotten names. Footsteps fade into wet gravel path. A loose plank moans beneath tired boots. Night gathers the secrets of the town. Broken talk hums in the barroom shadow. A piano wails for lonely strangers. Smoke curls from half-empty cigars, and every sigh carries a hidden ache. Winding talk slips along river mist. Timbers creak beneath the moon's pale gaze. The night smells of salt and soot. Restless hearts wander like drifting logs. Drifting tall fades beneath morning frost. Old memory lingers in cracked window pane. The city sleeps beneath the silent sky, and echoes of loss drift down the river. River mist curling against worn railing, strip of light stretching along the water, leaves scattered floating with slow current, quiet breath escaping tired lips, dock creaking under heavy boots, deep rhythm drumming in heart and head, echo call bouncing across steel beams, leaves scattered twirling in morning fall. Lonely fisherman leaning on wooden post, quiet breath fogging in cold air, strip of torn newspaper drifting past, deep rhythm matching rocking boat, harbor lanterns reflecting in dark tide, leaves scattered clinging to damp boards, echo call of gulls above, quiet breath rising from tired chests, freight whistle fall along the track, deep rhythm of distant river engine, leaves scattered floating past timber piles, strip of sunlight glinting on water. Old rope coil swinging on dock edge, echo call returning from far brick wall, quiet breath catching winter chill, deep rhythm keeping slow time, paddle boat rocking beneath creaking pier, leaves scattered drifting into evening shadow, strip of lantern glow dancing on waves, quiet breath blending with river mist, morning fog lifting over sleepy city, deep rhythm fading from empty quay, echo call marking last night's memory, leaves scattered resting on wet planks, Old machine shop breathing slow tonight. Rust flake falling from broken beam. Iron dust floating through yellow lamplight. Nail rust biting deep into wood. Lonely mechanic sweeping quiet floor. Metal dust drifting like gray snow. Rust dust resting along cracked boards. Iron dust glowing in dim bulbs. Night wind slipping through broken windows. Rust flakes sliding from steel brackets. Nail rust dark along wooden frame. Metal dust rising beneath tired boots. Distant train rolling through midnight yard. Iron dust trembling on metal table. Rust dust drifting slow across shop. Rust flake whispering against floor. Leaning beside cold furnace. Nail rust marking years of labor. Metal dust shining beneath lantern glow. Rust flakes sleeping in shadow corners. Early rain tapping tin shop roof. Iron dust dancing with every vibration. Rust dust swirling through weak light. Nail rust silent in wooden plank. Morning whistle calling workers back. Rust flake resting along iron beam. Metal dust pale beneath sunrise. Iron dust settling on silent tools. Shop doors opening toward bright street. Rust dust fading in warm daylight. Nail rust holding old boards tight. Metal dust waiting for night shift. Old rail tavern built from heavy beams. Wood grain glowing beneath lantern glow. Timber scent filling smoky air. Lonely harmonica crying softly. Night porter resting beside freight crates. Cedar scent drifting through open door. Fog rolling from dark riverbank. Distant whistle slashing silence. Backroom gambler tapping nervous fingers, knot circle swirling inside bar top, sweaty glass leaving pale ring, low laughter breaking quiet tension, winter wind rattling loose shutters, resin drip shining from rough beam, pot-belly stove glowing red warm, boots drying beside iron grate, rail workers sharing stories loudly, timber scent rising from old tables, cheap whiskey burning throat harsh, card deck slapping one fell, yeah. Lonely singer practicing broken verses, wood grain dark beneath guitar case, lantern shadows climbing walls slowly, soft rhythm tapping wooden heel, early snow touching quiet rooftops, cedar scent floating through cracked windows, knot circle pale beneath frost light, empty glasses waiting silent here. Golden sunrise filling wooden room, resin drip hardened overnight quietly, timber scent warm in morning air, Chicago waking beyond rail yard. Lonely hallway, smelling stale cigar smoke, brass knob glowing beneath pale glow, knob turn open and tired, tavern doorway, rain dripping down, cracked window glass. Night drifters shaking soaked overcoat sleeves, handle rattle greeting late, wandering stranger, weak neon buzzing over crooked bar sign, distant Monica floating through smoke. Cold alley wind pushing wooden entrance, knob wobble tremble against rusted latch, streetcar bell ringing down dark avenue, footsteps fading along wet pavement. Slow piano chords filling narrow room, lonely whiskey glass sweating quietly. Midnight singer leaving smoky stage, handle rattle whispering through empty corridor, trumpet case resting beside stool lid, taxi horn crying outside window. Rain-soaked gamblers stepping through doorway, knob turn spinning under tired fingers, cheap cigarette burning crooked ash, backroom laughter breaking silent tension. Early baker crossing quiet intersection, delivery wagon rattling wooden wheels, bread scent drifting through cool air. Morning janitor locking sleepy tavern, knob wobble resting after long night, handle rattle silent under daylight, dust motes floating through window beams. Iron railing cold beside narrow stair tonight, railing rust catching dim hallway light, rust streak running slow down concrete wall, chalk line fading beside old doorway. Late night footsteps climbing silent buildings, wall stained dark under buzzing ceiling lamp. Iron railing steady beneath tired hands, rust streak shining faint beneath neon glow. Lonely blues drifting from distant apartments, chalk line marking forgotten childhood games. Railing rust rough beneath restless fingers, wall stains spreading across cracked plaster, rain tapping softly against dusty windows, rust streak crawling down aging bricks. Iron railing humming beneath city wind, Night janitor walking slow past stairwell. Wall stained, watching silent years pass. Railing rust, telling stories without words. Iron railing cold against sleepless night. Whiskey breath drifting through stairwell air. Rust streak catching flicker of a weak bulb. Chalk line fading into dusty floor. Wall stained heavy beneath peeling paint. Morning light creeping through dirty window. Iron railing glowing faint in sunrise. Railing rust quiet after restless night. Rust streak dry against pale wall. City waking beyond narrow stairwell. Chalk line gone beneath tired footsteps. Wall stained silent through another day.